every day when you're walking down the street.
If you or your kids have watched television in the last 30 years, you probably recognize this theme song and the iconic aardvark it features.
What a wonderful kind of day.
His name is Arthur, he loves to read, and funding for his home on PBS is under threat. This is the man who created him.
A big selling point for me working with PBS was that it reaches children everywhere in the country. Kids that can't afford cable. 40% of the children in our country don't have access to preschool. And with Arthur, we reached those kids.
President Donald Trump signed an executive order in May that called on the Corporation for Public Broadcasting to stop funding PBS and NPR. Republicans have argued that taxpayer money should not go towards what Trump calls biased media. On May 30th, PBS pushed back in a lawsuit alleging the Trump administration is infringing on its First Amendment rights. It comes on the heels of a similar lawsuit filed by NPR. And in another line of attack, the Trump administration is asking Congress to rescind more than $1 billion for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which has already been approved. So public broadcasting stations are hustling to remind Americans what they contribute to news and culture.
Arthur was created right here at GBH. People from across the political spectrum watch our shows, and that's true of our children's content as well. It's a goal of public media to create high quality, thoughtful, interesting programming that brings people together, sparks their interest. A loss of public funding would lead to a lot of hard choices for us and for everybody.
My friend Fred Rogers, he said, Mark, every child needs someone to believe in them to make it in the world. It made me think about how PBS is that force in so many children's lives.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting, or CPB, exists because of a 1967 congressional act. It's not a government agency, but it is taxpayer funded. That funding gets allocated to local stations all under the umbrella of PBS, and those local stations then pay dues back to PBS. Other sources of funding include sponsors, foundations, and, of course,
by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you.
Having worked with PBS, what potential impacts would funding cuts have to programming like this? Could Arthur have been made without federal funding?
Once we lose PBS and this funding, immediately at least 40 broadcasters in the middle of the country will go out of business. That directly impacts families who depend on shows like Arthur and all the other wonderful programming on PBS.
There is a long history of attempts to defund public media. I believe that has happened in every Republican administration. This is by far the most serious threat to public funding.
We're likely to see a long legal battle between the Trump administration and public broadcasters. But local stations are warning that if Trump's plans move forward, it will mean major cuts to programs and services. Ultimately, it's a fight that's emblematic of a larger culture war that rages on.